sports and more sports in the OneMic show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of the OneMic show sports show. We're starting out today with the Celtics have suspended their coach Ime Udoka for the entirety of the 2022-2023 season for violation of team policies. The franchise announced on Thursday that the team added in a statement that a decision about its future with the Celtics beyond this season will be made at a later date. The second-year coach's punishment is a result of an intimate relationship with a female member of the organization, as it was reported on Thursday morning. Some members of the Celtics organization first became aware of the relationship in July, sources said. At that time, team leadership was led to believe by both parties that the relationship was consensual. But sources say that the woman recently accused Udoka of making another comments toward her, leading the team to launch a settlement internal interviews. The team decision and announcement came after a closed-door meeting Thursday, but involved team owners, President Brad Stevens, and lasted several hours. So, I just wanted to bring back and take us back later last month, whereby the Phoenix Suns owner, Ray Saver, was suspended for 1 year and fined for $10 million for uttering racist, for using racist slurs and uttering racist comments to some of his staff and some of his players. Lee, I want to come back to you in the studio and ask you, what do you think? I know that different scenarios, different scenes, but all in all, how do you evaluate the suspension of these two cases? Do you feel that one of them was lenient while the other one was more harsh, or how do you think that they both merited what the punishment that each one got, depending on what the issue was?
I kind of have mixed feelings about this, because the first thing, starting with what happened in Boston, and trying not to mix the two things, but starting with what happened to the Celtics, where they suspended their coach for a whole year, which to me is not really a suspension. They're just saying they're getting rid of him. That's just a polite way of saying we no longer need your services. I've never understood this thing of a consensual relationship costing you a job. I've never understood it. I've been in corporate America. I'm still in corporate America. I know these policies, there's some of these policies, but I've never understood that. If there's a consent, it's one thing, if there's a senior employee kind of like coercing, like someone who's either a direct report or someone who's their junior to coercing them to get into a relationship, because that's not a balanced relationship. But when it's a consensual thing, I've never really understood that. And the other thing that I never quite understood is that, fine, such things happen to other people, and maybe they lose their jobs, but this thing was leaked so fast to the media, and this leak came from the Boston organization. So my question is, why exactly did they do it? Because that came internally. People did not just find out. It came internally, and then they were so swift after this had been all over the media. They were so swift to say that they're suspending Udoka for a year. Now, with the Phoenix situation, forget about even Phoenix. You have cases like, retired quarterback Brett Favre. He's involved in a $5 million scandal. This thing has not been getting play on the media, especially on sports media, like this Ime Udoka case is getting. I know people will say we are crying foul for racism, but yes, we are. If you're saying it, you're right. If Ime was not black, even if he would have gotten a suspension, this thing would not have been, feasted upon by the media. And I also feel sorry for one of the ladies in the organization whose picture has been shared around so many times as the one who was having an affair with Ime, and she's not even the one. So that's very sad, because now we are getting multiple victims.
She's not?
No, she's not the one. She's not the one, but her picture is everywhere. Her picture is everywhere, but she's not the one. She's not the said person. The said person, I think, the organization, has kind of, protected her name, but the name that's going around, no, she's not the one who's involved. And I know that thing has moved so fast on social media, and right now it's at another level. But to me, this thing of trying to police morality, if it was a consensual relationship, we first of all don't need to know about it. I don't know why they brought it to the public.
Right.
And then a suspension for a whole season. Maybe someone can tell me something I don't understand. Micah.
One from what you're reading out of what's coming up from the Celtics is said that there might be some accusations that at some point it was consensual, at some point it wasn't. Some of them the rumors that are coming out that it's worse than what people are saying, are talking about right now. So I think it's just the best thing to do right now is to wait and see how it pans out. They didn't go ahead and fire him immediately, but suspending your coach, you yourself, not even the NBA, you yourself suspending your coach for a year is a little bit suspect. Literally, you're saying for the whole season you don't want him to be your coach. It speaks a lot about what the organization is taking. And as Aliyah said, it's blindsided a lot of people. So many people think it's too harsh, it's too hard, it was a consensual relationship between two people. Yes, two employees violated the same policy from the company. The other one also suspended for a year. Those are things that we're not even hearing, or are not being mentioned right now. So it is a very tricky and dear situation. So, and I wanted to just throw this to Uno. Uno, we see that, and Ali spoke about Udoka, but if we go to the other side, to the situation where it happened with the Phoenix Suns owner, right now he is contemplating selling the franchise because of pressure from social media and other people. But before that, the NBA had just issued a $10 million fine and a 1-year suspension for racist behavior. Is this another indication of other matters superseding the main problem in America and also in sports in America, which is racism?
Let me say this first. If you guys remember, there's a time, you remember Jameis Winston?
Yes.
And crab legs?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? What happened? Like, it was
Aliba crab legs. Yeah.
He took whatever, yes, he took. And that guy was lambasted and pasted, even some parents of let's say like the guys when they beat, I think they won a ball or something. One of the parents of the career, like, hey, I can't even speak and do what. And he was lambasted for that. But then you have somebody who stole millions from the poor in the name of
clean water right now.
In the name of Brett Favre. Let's start there.
Yes.
Right? But you're hearing nothing.
Nothing.
Okay? Nothing.
Especially the sports media.
Sports media. You have maybe like a Kina Shannon Sharp over here, maybe trying to say something. Stephen A. Smith's trying to say something, but you're not. He's not getting. He's not getting the barrage that he needs. Now we have a guy here, an owner who has done some stuff. It has come out. Racism, what this, that, the other. Deservedly so. Because he's given 10 million, like Micah is saying. This guy had, that's the Phoenix Suns owner. You can imagine what was being discussed and talked, at the dinner tables and stuff. Now, we are talking about here a guy who had a consensual. He did not force. He did not say that I'm going to get you fired or I am going to do this or, nothing. Wamekubaliana, 2 grown adults. To suspend him for a whole season, you do that to, let's say, somebody who has done gambling, sports gambling. I would understand.
Gambling, yeah.
Like the wide receiver from Atlanta, the Falcons.
Yeah, that's understandable.
That's understandable.
Because you're in position to impact the wager that you put in,
and you can actually affect a game.
Yes.
Now, being a player. So we're talking about a coach. So there has this issue, and it will continue. The the way the media covers even English Premier League soccer players has come to the forefront, right? When you have a kid, the wording they use for someone like Raheem Sterling is different than the wording they'll use for someone like Foden, or it's something maybe like Grealish. The wording is very different. They're trying to say the same thing, but the wording is very different. So media bias, of course. In addition to that, you have people like the Boston Celtic coach. Most guys are concerned about, okay, this guy cheated on me along. Okay, fine, whatever. Like some other guys were saying, show me a fine mama and I'll show you a jama who's tired of her. Vice versa. And I don't know if
let's not go there.
I don't know if it goes there. I'm not saying no. I know.
Let's just not go there. Let's keep it sports.
So no, that's what I'm saying. People are looking at that, and that's what they are addressing.
Yeah.
The bigger issue here is the I want to say the punishment that the coach is getting.
Not warranted.
Is disproportionate.
It's very harsh.
Yeah,
It's not warranted. It's too harsh.
It's crazy, and it'll and I think Micah might have alluded to this. Ideally, this is being fired.
This is definitely being fired.
I mean, unless something else.
Suspension for a whole season. I mean, a team is saying you are our head coach. The season is about to start, but we don't want you.
And listen, he took them to the NBA finals.
Yes, he took them to. I mean, we have a situation where, I think there's a problem. I think there was someone like at the top of that organization, or people who actually did not want him. So this was a golden opportunity, and I think leaking it to the media was just to make this thing happen faster. Now, here's a question that some people are asking. If Ime was, let's say, a random white coach, let's say Steve Nash, would this be the same case? Absolutely not. I don't think things would have gone down the same way this happened. And I don't think this information would have been leaked to the public. I think, the players and people in the NBA who have power need to follow up this situation. Yes, we know, there's a victim in this, you have, rather Udoka's fiancé who was cheated on, yes. But I also think that this is a kind of mistake, that they should sort it, the two of them. It should never have come to us. This is none of our business. But when the sports media takes it and runs with it, I see this as a very big problem.
So now, okay, here, looking at some of the comments here, DJ Tucha, Karibu Sana, I think they wanted him out. Washeke says, I think they wanted him out, and this was the perfect opportunity. Guys, keep it in your pants. I don't know about that. Yeah, good luck with that. Consensual company rules state you can't date a subordinate, I guess. Fine. If that is the case, the punishment method,
not warranted.
Not warranted. They may want him to quit. Double standards by the media. Go ahead.
And can I say?
Please.
So let's just say that is Celtic's policy around
relationships.
So let's just say that's fine. That's what they're gonna do. It does not, like, the type of attention Ime is getting is not warranted compared to Brat, who basically defrauded the state of Mississippi and taking money from welfare money.
$5 million.
That should be on a loop for everybody to hear compared to what Ime did. And I'm not one to condone cheating. I will not condone that. Like, the type of attention Ime is getting is not
it's not fair.
We should be talking about Brett.
If you want to hear about Brett, you go to NPR. If you go to sports media, who should be talking about this? They're not talking about him.
Yeah.
They're not talking about him.
They cannot. He's the golden boy of the NFL.
Yeah, they're not talking about him.
They cannot talk about him like that, but we know what he did was actually worse than what he did. Like, it's just like, and this is a conversation I've had with so many people. When Tiger Woods lost endorsements, you would ask yourself, why would he lose endorsement for cheating on his wife? He didn't do anything wrong. He cheated on his wife, and then he was beaten by his wife. Yeah.
Well,
So he didn't have to lose his endorsement. No. If you compare to how white people lose endorsements, when you're racist, when you're human trafficking, when you like, it's vile mistakes that actually make you lose endorsement. But we
Micah.
have had so many American athletes who have cheated on their wives and done worse, who are white, and they've never lost the endorsement the way Tiger Woods was.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for his talent, the guy would have been cancelled. Like, he would have been cancelled, just the same way Kaepernick was cancelled, because it's easier to have subpar standard white boys who you can polish than having a black man who speaks his mind. In as OneMic says, and there's a whitewash, there's a media polish in sports, and unfortunately,
wow, there's some stories here flying. I don't know whether they're true. Elolote is saying the woman is a wife to one of the organization's boss.
that's what's been said.
Well, I mean, we can't confirm that
or deny that. So
yeah.
those are no.
But
if you guys remember, as you're looking through the comments, you guys remember the guy who used to sing the Monday Night Football theme song?
Yes.
The Hank Williams.
Yes. The guy who used to sing it for a very long time.
For a very long time, and then came out and talked about sijui Hitler, Nazi, Obama, what, and then he was suspended, or whatever, and then he came back again. There's a time he was, I don't know if he's still on, but he came back again. He came back when seriously, the dude was given a second chance. A white guy, of course, country musician.
Yeah.
Right, and he still I don't know if he still sticks to those, whatever chances are he still does, but because of trying to make money, he has to change. So these are the things that, again, they rear their ugly heads, and it's something that you just have to look at.
Okay, and then Slay is also asking, do you think the relationship was a setup? I don't know whether
which relationship,
this consensual relationship between Ime Udoka and whoever he was in a relationship with. Could it have been a setup? But if she's one of the wives of the bosses, how can that be a setup? I don't know how these things happen. But one thing I tell people to be careful about is also judging other people's morality. Yes, I mean, he's cheated on Yalong, whatever. That's an issue for the two of them to deal with.
No, not really.
That's an issue. No, let me finish what I'm saying.
It's not between the two of them. Society will fall under those things.
Wait a sec. Let me finish what I'm saying. The reason why I'm saying this is because and I think society comes in because there's an aspect of moral policing involved, and it hits black people harder. Yeah. Whenever it comes out in public.
That I agree.
It hits
way more.
Yeah. It hits black people harder. I think the reason why I caution people against moral policing, like why should he have done it, is nowadays you don't know. First of all, we don't know what kind of agreement.
No, you don't.
We don't know what kind of agreement they're in, the two of them, and that's why I'm saying it's only the two of them who eventually have to deal with that. It's unfortunate that all of us have been dropped into it, but it's only the two of them who have to deal. Nowadays, there's all kinds of relationships that you hear out there. People are in open relationships. People are in things called, I don't know, throuples. People are in all kinds of things that you don't know about. So wewe unaweza kwa huko, unaenda umona mtu, you're the first one to report, unakimbia huko kureport, but you don't know what you're reporting.
Unakimbia Facebook.
Yeah.
Na Twitter and Instagram to report.
Exactly, but you don't know, like what agreement that they have. And that's the reason why sometimes when you go with a very heavy dossier, of what your spouse has done, or what your boyfriend or girlfriend has done, and then you give that heavy dossier, and then a few minutes later you see them still together and happy, you're the one who's left holding that dossier. So that's one thing I always tell people: just be careful, because when you throw rocks and you live in a glass house, guess what's gonna happen?
Zinamwok.
Exactly.
It's interesting. Did you guys hear about Adam Levine?
Biological sports.
Tuko sports. Tuko sports. I just want to show the double standards. Anybody who knows who Adam Levine is.
I know Adam Levine.
Maroon
but,
5.
But what did
Maroon
he
5.
do? Yeah.
What's interesting is
Uh-huh.
I saw there was this John Fetterman, the guy running for I think Senate in PA versus Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz, yeah.
So I saw somewhere on Twitter how there was a screenshot of a text that he had sent, and he used that to chapa banter Dr. Oz, kumchapa banter. But I heard it was something to do with him and texting somebody or something.
So, Adam Levine was okay. This guy came on TikTok, said that I mean, there's no one I'm using Adam Levine here because he's white, and he had. I'm currently, I would say, similar situation like Ime, right? So Adam Levine, this girl comes on TikTok and says, I'm gonna talk about this, and just because somebody is threatening to sell this story to the tabloids. For 1 year, I had an affair with a married man who's married to a Victoria's Secret model, and she shows the text messages they had. So they broke up. No, they ended their affair, and then a couple months later, Adam Levine comes back to the guy and said, "Oh, by the way, we are having another child. Can I, if it's a boy, can I name your name?"
Oh, wow.
Okay. How you guys don't know about that is weird because it was trending on Twitter. People are talking about it. But we know about Ime. But we know about Ime.
Oh, yeah.
That was the same week. It happened earlier in the week.
Oh, jeez. I'm hearing about it for the first time.
You see the double standards I'm talking about?
Yeah.
See, this is the same guy who
famous people.
This is the same guy who did that thing with Janet Jackson, but Janet that was Justin Timberlake.
that was
Sorry,
Justin.
Yeah.
but still,
Justin, yeah.
What I'm trying to say,
who got more blowback?
black woman.
Yeah.
Janet
black
Jackson,
woman,
not
yeah.
the guy who ripped it up at carry
Yeah,
on.
in fact, Justin's career grew. He went up all the way up from there. Yeah.
Again, what I'm trying to say is the double standards between if something the same or similar thing happens to a white person, how like it's like what
It's like their career trajectory moves up. Okay, son, sorry.
Where is sports?
What? Hey,
But the double standards.
Other sports. Hey, anyway, moving on to the social segment, sports. Second story today we're going to talk about. WADA today resisted the push for marijuana to get off the ban list. Marijuana used to remain banned at sports event of the World Anti-Doping Agency on Friday resisted calls to change its status on the list of prohibited substances. The agency was asked to review the status of THC, the psychoactive ingredient cannabis, after the case of United sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson missed the Tokyo Olympics last year. So this WADA say that the drugs THC, which still, which they say still supports two of the three regulations that they have, whether it's going to be and give you an advantage, a sporting advantage, or whether it's going to harm your health, or whether it's going to give you an unfair advantage to other athletes who are not using it. So they say that marijuana still ticks two of the three requirements that determines whether they're going to keep something as a banned substance. So I just want to bring it back to the studio. Ali, OneMic, Ruth. Marijuana is basically becoming legal in the whole world. It's something that's being incorporated into medication, both holistic and the regular medication. Is it time that not only just with it becoming a legally recognized treatment substance in the modern world, is it time that it should be accepted or taken off not only the banned drug list in sports, but the whole world?
Well, for starters, actually, this coming election in Maryland, that question is on the ballot on legalizing marijuana, and I think it's gonna pass. You know, early voting starts on October 27th. We're gonna talk about that later.
But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So to me, I think in sports, it's only fair to ban the substances that give you an advantage, you know, like in your performance. You know, something that doesn't give you an advantage in your performance, I don't see why it should be banned. I mean, that should not be, or I don't get the point of doing it. I think weed is one of those things that has been so politicized,
and demonized.
So I think, and because they know there's a lot of people out there who use it, so they still want to keep it on the banned substance list. But to me, it's not one of those substances that enhances your performance. So I think they should just let it go and let athletes who are using weed compete.
Because I would be curious as to why. I'm sure probably they presented a study. They broke down the compounds and the components and what those individual components of weed do, if they enhance what, you know, maybe they did, you know. But I remember I was watching a documentary, and I think it was HBO Sports, Real Sports, about how some football players, to deal with pain, one of the bows, they smoke weed for pain. They don't want to take oxycontin, sijui nini. They prefer to smoke. You know, that's what they'll do. They'll smoke, and that way that alleviates pain. I mean, I'm you know, it's one of those. I think not, you remember the crack cocaine epidemic?
Yeah. In the West Coast especially.
Where it was, you know, even like in Len Bias, you know, there were more it was harsher to punish a crack cocaine user, consumer, dealer
than the regular cocaine.
Yeah. Right? Just the other day, somewhere like in Indiana, those Midwest, whatever, there is an epidemic of, there's a high whatever of doing what? See, heroin, yeah. Sindio. But it has been declared as a what? A public health emergency.
Yeah, it's been humanized.
It has been humanized.
And not criminalized.
Yes. Like anyway, looking at
opioids too.
Opioids too. In this place, that one it has now been declared. Like in huku kwingine, what was it? Because it was 3 strikes and unaingia ndani for 25 to life.
Yeah.
Again, black, non-black.
Yeah, it's just sad that these things are now becoming quite clear.
It's quite clear.
There's not even any hiding anymore.
And I'm not saying that most of the people who consume weed are blacks. I don't know what this disparity is.
No, actually, Wazungus also consume weed.
But
yeah.
But they're not punished for it.
But being punished,
they're not punished for it the way black people are.
Black and Hispanics are punished for it.
And that's the reason why I think the decriminalization part of it is going to be very helpful, because you have a lot of people who are spending, you know, like nights in jail just because they were caught, you know, like
with an ounce. Is it 10, or
2 ounces, you know. To me, it's one thing if you have 1,000 ounces, but you know, if you had some for your personal consumption, I mean, I'm not encouraging people to smoke weed, but then to me, there's so many more dangerous substances that every day that people consume that are way more dangerous than weed. So I've never understood.
And because of those ones that are being prepared in a lab as you speak, there's somebody who's chopping a concoction. Some of these guys who are doing chemistry and what titration and K. Ati unanusia hivi wewe unasikia uko juu ya maji kaa ferry.
You know the only reason why weed is being legal is because they have realized how to make money out of it than sending people to prison.
Kuna chapa. Yeah.
Is that true?
Kuna chapa. And I think once they legalize it, then people are gonna your excitement itakwisha, because part of the excitement is also based on the fact that this is an illegal substance, and of course there's an underworld that's making money. But then you see the guy on the streets, those are the last guys. Those guys make the least money. The people who make the actual money are you know, some people sitting even in some corporate offices.
True.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
The people, those are the people who are making the big money. But anyway, Micah.
So with all that, that is all from sports. I'll bring it back to you in the studio. I don't know Masayo to Micah.
Yes. Anyway, we were eager.
That was not sports.
Now he chimes in.
That was socio sports.
So that was socio sports.
Yeah.
Under sports.
And
Hiyo category sijawahi sikia, but we'll go with it.
We shall go with it, eh? Hiyo ni sawa. So anyway, we wanted to discuss about this fraud thing that many Kenyans themselves are getting involved in. Guys were eager to discuss, but I think Wire did not defraud us. They just took a chunk of the time, which was a very good discussion.
By
Very good.
Mulipata wire pay. Mulipata wire pay.
Wewe ukichapa backstroke na tufishe stroko, sisi tulikuwa tunachapa demarcation hapa wewe. Of course you won't say anything.
Mulipewa kodi ya chapa ndio tuambie watu wakuje. Zile za 10 bob ama hizo hawana.
Now you see, here's the interesting thing. Omosh, that's why you should have been there to ask that question. But here's the interesting thing. I think Wire, is just way more than a money transfer service. That's why that 10 bob has no value. They're not looking for just people to subscribe for the money transfer part. They're looking for people to deposit their money. So this will be very interesting. I'm curious to download that app and to see the exciting things that are in there.
We shall see what happens when they come back, maybe before or during or right after the launch.
Yeah.
Warudi. We can do trial runs and test runs live on air.
Yes.
Like we've done before.
Na hiyo nini ya rate sijui kwa nini walikuwa wanaongea hivyo story ya rate, because Sendwave nimeona rate yao ni rate ya what? So I don't know, maybe wataanza na rate ya exchange rate.
Or exchange rate.
Exchange rate for wire. Yeah.
Exchange
Exchange rate for wire is very low. I mean, not very low, but it's low. It's substantially lower that you would not use them at this point to transfer money. I'm just saying.
So currently Sendwave is offering 120.12 cents. How much for $1? How much is Wire offering, Omosh?
When I used it, I think it was 118.
Okay. So I think
and
that's something
that was this week. Yeah, it was 118.
Yeah, so I think that's something that we'll have to, ask them to explain, because part of what they want to do is they say they want to reduce this spread. This money transfer business, it's tough. Like we've seen a number of people, try, and fall on the wayside. But from what I see, Wire is on a very firm foundation in as far as expertise, in as far as
and probably it's because I guess it's probably also because in one aspect you've got fintech, and this other side you've got a guy who has been in econ or finance or whatever for a minute.
For a minute, yeah.
So I think also understanding that.
Yeah.
I don't know. At one point it was French, but it was kind of Chinese, but I started getting.
Okay.
I started nyitang. Ati runway. I'm like, runway? Kwa nini tunaongea mambo ya ndege here? But I got it. The taxi. Hey, thank you, Slay, for helping a brother out. That inatoka kwa dock.
So if somebody mess, runway is the money you have to sustain the business for this amount of time. Basically, it's more until self-sustainable, but no, sometimes also ask like, okay, to the next stage you want to be at, do you have enough money to sustain the business?
Okay.
You have to pay people, you have to invest, all those things.
Anyway, that was a really good session. So, and I think what we'll do is we shall postpone our fraudulent Kenyan ways of being fraudulent and defrauding the government, because
people have balls.
This hour, like some people say that some people just stay a minute too long and then their hand is caught in the cookie jar. But I think also chances, I think saa zingine wanaletanga ile ujinga ya 254 wanakuja wanaileta hapa again. We don't know, but we hope to have that discussion.
Kenya is one of
next
that
Friday.
jurisdiction. Kenya is one of that jurisdiction where the US can go and request for your property to be seized. And of course, the Kenyan government, unfortunately, will not side with the citizen first. Yeah. I wonder if the Kenyan government comes to the US to seize a property of an American who's embezzled money in Kenya. I wonder if they'll be allowed to do that, or even if they can do that.
That would be interesting.
Yes.
May not happen, but we shall see.
All right.
Naenga walinena kilicho na mwanzo hakina budi kuwa na mwisho. Meli imetia nanga. We are about to wrap this puppy up. Micah, ochikave. Tugende.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today. Let's say happy hour imeisha. Udijame ita last call. But I want to thank our guest today who came in and gave us that information about a very good product to help us. I also want to thank my fellow presenters here. Bila nyinyi, hiyo ingekuwa kitu tukibaki tu WhatsApp kwa tukiongea. Na mafans wetu, thank you for always being there. Thank you for contributing. Thank you for the questions. Made the conversation so engaging, so enlightening. And as I always say, I hope you take care this weekend. Don't drink and drive. Enjoy yourselves. Bye-bye. See you next weekend.
Fire Omosh.
Yo, fans. Niko. Asanteni watu, pole, unajua the fish over here were making me get all bubbly. But I promise to rectify it next week. Msiwe na hofu, msiwe na shaka. Tuko hapa, basiko, tuko live, tuko direct na munaona, tunawapay na kuna waya na tutawaona next week. Au sio?
Always great to be back in the studio. I had a great week. I'm hoping next week will be great for everybody. And I hope I'll see you guys next week.
All right. We hope we'll see you too. We hope you don't be taking this long vacations, like 6-7 week vacations, and then coming. But that's a story for another day.
Who took 7 weeks vacation?
I know, just that other.
Like you didn't take vacation too?
That other panelist. I didn't mention names.
Sometimes you don't have to mention
names. I didn't mention names.
I can totally sue you by just describing something.
Okay.
As long as I meet the
do
description.
Do I feel some guilt here? Like coming along? Anyway, I want to thank the listeners, and I want to thank Dr. David Washira and Marori Hamstone for coming and talking to us about Wire. That was an amazing conversation. Of course, we're going to post this on YouTube. We're going to cut it up. I'm interested to know where this is going to go. They talked about a $5,000 minimum, for anybody who wants to invest into the idea. It was originally valued at $1 million 3 years ago. Right now, it got 15 million. So usually that's when those first years is when the highest growth happens. So you can still, jump on board. If you can email David. I think his email is washira@wirepay.com if you're interested in investing. And of course, we're going to talk about the fraud topic next week. Na kwa hayo machache, yote ambaye anataka kunipigia simu, nambari yangu bado ni ile 1-800 mteule. Na operator akishika simu, mwambie unataka kusema na mjukuu, na akikuuliza ni mjukuu yupi, mkumbushe ni mjukuu yule wa Masai, because I'm Kenyan by blood, American by design, Masai by choice. Sichagui, sikagui na sibagui. Kwaheri.
And Daddy loves you, Njeri. Daddy loves you, Nimo. Daddy loves you. Until next week, guys, be blessed.